I was invited by John Lasseter to come aboard as a director to develop a bunch of ideas for movies. John said to me, well, I would really like it if you would just consider just the world of video games. I thought, well, I like video games. It's neat to be able to use something from my childhood, you know, that kind of evokes nostalgia in me. So John Lasseter is asking me to develop an animated movie at Disney about video games. There's nothing wrong with any part of that sentence.
I'm a huge video game fan. I grew up with games as a kid. The idea of being able to make a movie about something I love felt really appealing. I've always loved movies like Toy Story, where you go behind the scenes and you kind of discover something you never realized actually happened. And in the case of Toy Story, when you leave the room, the toys come to life. And so this same conceit is sort of true here in Wreck-It Ralph.
We wanted characters that evoked kind of those early days of video games, so we went with kind of a Donkey Kong dynamic for Felix and Ralph.
For the first at least month, I would say, if not longer, came up with a full movie pitch outline with Felix as the protagonist. And we had the Ralph character was this sort of grubby dude named Wendell Grubble.
And he was more kind of like a beast that lived in the trash and threw garbage at Felix.
One day, I was like, why are we talking about this guy so much? This guy should be the lead of our movie. And it was like light bulb moment.
This idea of this 8-bit villain having this existential crisis of what is the meaning of life? I do my job every day and I get no appreciation for it. I've been doing it for 30 years and is this gonna be how it is for the rest of my life? I loved that spiritual kind of break, you know, in this very kind of simple little cartoon character.
We started down that road and redid the entire movie. Here we are.
When we were designing the look of the movie and different worlds in the movie, we narrowed it down to an old school game, an 8-bit game, a more modern shooter game, and then a kart racer.
Typically in an animated film, you create one believable, compelling world, but in this case, we were creating 4. So you really are basically creating 4 movies. That's a lot to embark upon.
Iceland and Fix-It Felix Jr. world started with a little sketch Rich Moore did of a building and a character getting moved off his land.
We wanted it to feel like it was a small town, that it was something from another era.
We added trees with lights in them to make it a little more like Central Park, and the little train, you know, ling, 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 and just the little charming elements of a quaint town that you maybe would want to live in, because that's where he's going to end up at the end of the movie. He's going to live there, so you don't want it to be this barren wasteland.
Good job, everyone.
And John Lasseter he's a great partner to work with because he would always kind of stress, okay, you know, really, really celebrate what makes 8-bit, you know, so kind of appealing and simple.
Which means simplified, repeating patterns, simplified colors. Back then, they didn't have a lot of high resolution. They had to take a very small image and scale it up.
One of the most basic structural things that we did visually was to have a different shape language for each of the different worlds. The obvious choice for the 8-bit world was the square.
It's 8-bit land, so you didn't want to get too fancy. Keywords in that world were simple and clean.
It was a really hard struggle to find that nice place where you believe it's a finished frame in a film, yet it's got a simplicity to it. You know, because we were stripping out so much detail, so much of the shading.
Well, I did not know that.
Probably the biggest challenge in that world was from an animation standpoint, because we're going to animators that are some of the best in the world, and we're saying to them, don't do your best animation.
For us to go back and forget about some of those rules and things that we learned over the many, many years was very challenging.
And really the key was keeping the characters on a grid, so the characters actually never moved diagonally in any shot whatsoever.
There was no real kind of banking of the head. There was no real complex movements. We took all that out. I had a blast watching these characters, you know, come to life.
We thought, well, we're gonna make Ralph the one exception. So he kind of moves more naturalistic, like he's just like, I don't care.
Cherry chasing dot muncher isn't even part of this game.
The goal that was given to us was
celebrate the cube. For example, when Ralph is punching down the bricks to make his bed for the night. The dust that's kicked up is also based on cubes that are just bunched together and then are scaled down.
Phil Johnston and I, at one point, thought we had cracked the whole idea of how these characters travel from game to game when Felix discovered a magical vortex in a toilet in his game. After about 3 days, we realized, well, that's really stupid. You know, it has nothing to do with video games or arcade culture at all.
Phil Johnston, the screenwriter, lived in New York City at that time, and Rich Moore had gone back to New York to spend some time writing on the project, and the two happened to be in Grand Central Station.
We're kind of walking through there, just racking our minds like, what is the device? And Phil just said, what if it's like this? It's Game Central Station, power strip in the arcade, and all the plugs are in it, like these train tunnels, and they get on cars and they go from game to game.
Welcome to Game Central Station.
The entranceways were kind of modeled after subways and things like that. So you've got the tiled textures along the walls, and we did these kind of fluorescent lights. They've got flicker to it.
We also played up the atmospheric feeling so that it felt like a much larger space, very grand and more realistic.
All of those characters in those scenes are animated differently. Each character has a different way to walk, a different way to look, a different way to actually move. So from an animation standpoint, you couldn't sit there and have one animator just think one way in terms of an animation. They had to actually think about these characters. What era of video games did they come from?
Here was something, here was duty, here was duty.
Hero's Duty, we knew we wanted to be this place where Ralph would be so out of his depth.
His world is simple. We wanted this one to be very complex. We wanted it to be very overwhelming.
A place that would turn him into a blithering idiot amid this swarm of bugs.
When did video games become so violent and scary?
It's the brand new game in the arcade, so it needs to be state of the art. We need to push the envelope.
It should feel kind of the most hyper-realistic of any of the worlds.
Look at that high definition. It's amazing.
Games today, they look like movies. We felt like we can't just emulate that. We have to kind of push it a little bit more.
We wanted the world to feel aggressive. Everything has a sharp point to it that makes you feel like this isn't a world you want to spend a lot of time in.
Everything's made out of triangles. Even the ground is made up of plates of triangles.
We met with John Lasseter, and he looked at us and he said, you've created an amazing world, but I think you can push it much further. And he said, what I really want you to do is go look at the beginning of Saving Private Ryan and look at Aliens and see to what extent you can create the most chaotic 4 minutes of animation that we've seen on the screen before.
When you watch Saving Private Ryan and the camera is shaking and there's explosions going off all around you and things are flying by, you feel like you went through that. And we wanted to create that same feeling with Ralph when he comes out and that door drops, that he's just dropped himself into this world that he's completely in over his head.
It's like, ah!
Spielberg puts light behind mist, but Ridley always strobes it, so it's blink, 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 blink. So we then started going, all right, every shot, we're gonna start sticking these cans, shooting out mist, and then strobe behind them, flash, flash, flash.
The air is really thick. What we kind of developed was this, what we call black snow. And it was kind of like if something was burning and there was ash falling everywhere.
During the battle scenes, it's kind of blowing around very violently, and there's a lot of turbulence in it.
So we kept adding and adding and adding and adding until every shot had so much going on.
You don't have a lot of frames in which to kind of read what's going on. The color scheme that we ended up with was that the good guys have orange as their main accent color. So they all have these orange lit faces, and then the bugs are in this fluorescent acid green, so that you always know who's the good guys, who's the bad guys.
Oh no, there's something coming out of their bottom!
Game over.
What a ripoff.
One of the biggest challenges was, how do we make the arcade feel the most real of all the worlds. When we have a world like Heroes Duty and we say we want that animation in that world to be as hyper-realistic as it can be, so we decided to go caricatured.
Morning, kids, come on in. Good to see you, good to see you.
The difference between Heroes Duty and the real world was that in Heroes Duty, the things that were emphasized in the caricature were the more idealized things. Like the guys had very wide shoulders and tiny waists, and Calhoun had ideal measurements. And the people in the real world tended to be more like people that you would see in a real arcade.
I think our design department really captured very well the lighting of an arcade, the look and the feel of the place, and I can almost kind of smell it. It's kind of a conglomeration of places from today mixed with places that I spent a lot of time as a kid that just kind of really evoke that Southern California mission architecture.
What we also did was we made it a kind of darker environment, so it was really all the light, for the most part, was from the games, except for the door you entered. Even if there was a row of games that you couldn't see that was off in a distance and out of camera, we'd flash lights from those games onto the walls and ceilings, so you felt like that whole arcade was lit up and populated.
The story idea specific to Ralph, again, was this idea of, here's a guy who's loud, boorish, ill-tempered. What's the worst place for him? Well, a place where there are very sweet children and all kinds of things that would just be vile to Ralph.
No. This is that candy go-kart game over by the whack-a-mole.
For the longest time, we struggled with creating a world that was more than just the stereotypical Candyland or Hansel and Gretel's witch's house, the gingerbread house, or something like that.
One of our top viz dev artists here, Lorelei Beauvais, came up with the idea of using Gaudi-type design.
Growing up in Spain, I just grew up with the architecture of Antoni Gaudi and other modernists. Just walking when I was little, I saw at all the houses, and I'm like, it looks like candy houses, and it stuck in my mind. It looked like little pieces of cracked candy stuck on the houses.
And I was like, oh my God, that's right. I didn't even think about Gaudi. So we really dug into his architecture.
Mike Gabriel came to me and said, we would like you to build a model of Sugar Rush out of candy. Instantly, the kid in me took over. That was my job to figure out, oh, what exactly is this? So I had to crush wafers and cookies and things to make sort of like gravel.
We looked at those things over and over for the next year, year and a half, but they were really useful. When you're working on this movie, you don't have dessert, because dessert is work. It's hard work.
I ate a little bit of candy the first few days working on the models. After the first day or two of sugar high, I could barely look at it.
The world's set entirely in candy, and that isn't an easy thing to do in the world of CG.
Our brains are so tuned into, how food needs to look and what makes it appealing. We brought 3 different food photographers in so that we understood really how to make food appealing.
The audience should want to, reach out and eat the things in that environment. The lighting is much softer. There's no dark shadows.
So our technology team spent a lot of time creating what we call the gummy light, which was a way to have light go through something to make it feel realistic and, if you will, yummy.
For Sugar Rush, he wanted it to feel like a real classic Disney animated film. We were referencing a lot of Alice in Wonderland in the classics.
You look at King Candy and his movement and his acting, it all comes from the principles of 2D animation. It really helps set that world apart.
Milk my duds! It's Wreck-It Ralph!
We weren't hand-drawing this movie, but nevertheless, we did need to evoke some of those shapes and that style, that comic timing. For example, when Ralph falls into the taffy pit, there's a very nice splash that's got a very kind of classic umbrella shape that you would see from, say, Pinocchio or Alice in Wonderland.
Our effects animators were responsible for making that little lake of Diet Cola, and also for the end of the film where the top of the mountain where all the Mentos are falling in and everything explodes. There's nothing better than actually doing it yourself. And that's the best reference that we can use.
Look out!
So how'd I do?
Despite how different each of the worlds are, we always let story and emotion drive what makes them unique. And in that way, they're very similar. With Wreck-It Ralph, I tried to stress kind of the uniqueness of each world, but at the same time, perform the balancing act of letting them exist in one movie. I'm really proud of what the artists and the technicians here at Disney have done together, and I think it makes for a beautiful movie.
Welcome to Lit Wax Arcade, where we have fun, friends, and Fix-It Felix Jr. featuring Wreck-It Ralph. It's all new, fully 8-bit, state-of-the-art, and the hottest arcade game in the world. Test your skills against this totally rad wrecker who loves living up to his Wreck-It name. Only you can save Niceland.
I can fix it.
And be the hero. Fix-It Felix Jr. featuring Wreck-It Ralph. Now at Lit Wax Arcade on Route 83, offering 2 free quarters on your birthday.
Hi, I'm Rich Moore, the director of Wreck-It Ralph, and I'm really happy to share with you now some deleted scenes from the movie. If you watch with the commentary track turned on, you'll hear part of our thought process as to why we decided to change or ultimately cut these scenes. I hope you enjoy them. Hello, I'm Rich Moore, director of Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm Phil Johnston, one of the writers on the picture.
I'm Jim Reardon, the co-writer and head of story.
And we are looking at some deleted scenes. So just to give this a little context, when we make the movie, we basically do that by remaking the movie over and over again, using very rough storyboard panels and cutting them together into an animatic and marrying those visuals to the soundtrack. And we try lots of different things. You know, we experiment in this stage, and we're really looking for the different relationships, the different story beats, the plot of the movie. So we go down lots of different avenues. So we're going to show you, this is a look into our process.
Don't be sad.
Shut up!
You shut up! I'm singing here! There's a world
It sounds like death!
Huh?
Ralph!
What was that?
Oh! How you doing, brother?
What do you want, Felix?
Well, I had a few minutes, and I wanted to stop by and check up on you. I'm flying another sortie with General Lockload at 1300 hours. Funny thing, he seems to have taken a shine to me. He even made me his wingman. Isn't that super?
Oh, and you came here to tell me that. Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. Anyway, I'm trying to persuade the General to let you go.
Yeah, how?
I think I can convince him to release you under my supervision. I'd be like your parole officer.
Oh, great. Yeah, maybe you could toss me up your belt or tie so I could hang myself.
Ralph, there's something else. Remember Sergeant Calhoun?
How could I forget her?
Well, she gives me the honey glow in my cheeks.
Gives you the what?
I just think she's comely as all get out, don't you?
No, I think she's terrible.
Ralph, I have to be honest. I'm conflicted. I know we have to get back home, but I really like Sergeant Calhoun. No, we have an obligation to the Nicelanders back home. Oh, but she is so neat. No, my name is on that game, just like my father's name was on his. I'll get you out of this jail, and we'll skedaddle home. Decision made. Thank you, Ralph. You always know the right thing to say. I gotta go. Hang in there, brother.
Thanks for coming by, Felix. Really made my day. In case you can't tell, that was sarcasm!
Keep moving, prisoner.
With pleasure, Your Majesty.
Welcome home, Dunderson.
Ooh, my favorite cell. I call top bunk. Hey! Parachute pants! Yeah. What'd they nail you for, huh? Being too ugly? Nice one. Hey, hit me on the top shelf.
Good thing my feelings are unhurtable.
Whoa. Dude, you're hurting. That bumps me out hard, man. Where's the pain coming from, Cochise?
I thought I'd get here and it'd be different. But it's not. Lockload and Calhoun are just as stupid as the idiots back home.
They don't appreciate you.
They don't appreciate me. Amen. And it's like, I'm a good guy, obviously, but no matter where I go, no matter how much better I am than everyone, these imbeciles treat me like I'm bad. I just want to go someplace where I will finally fit in.
Dude, why didn't you say so? First chance I get, I'm going over the hill for a place made for dudes like us. Here, check this out. Extreme Easy Living 2.
Come on, what makes you think that game would be any better?
Because there's no good guys or bad guys. Just sand, sun, chicks, sharks, beer, volleyball, surfing, tacos, and a hot tub waiting there with your name on it. It's all good, man.
All good?
It is all good, man.
I gotta say, man, looks pretty perfect.
Word! They'll love you there. What with your big fat head and your body odor. And yo, peep this, Cochise. Cheat code. All access, all levels, all the time. All you gotta do is get a ship into deep space, then type the code into the computer. It'll hyperdrive you out of this game to Extreme Easy Living 2. Here, give me your hand. R2, triangle, square, O2, LRX. And here's a little something so you don't forget who did you a solid. Your bud, Bobby Dunderson.
Hang on, Dunderson. Why are you doing this for me?
Because you're my bro, my amigo. You're my bro-migo. I just made up that word right there. And also, because you're going to use those giant anvil hands to bust us on out of here, huh?
Bust us out? I don't know, man. I'm already in a lot of trouble around here. Huh?
I like you, Fix-It. For long, we'll be renaming this game Felix's Call. Ain't that right, Calhoun?
That was nice of you to say that.
You slay me.
Now what?
Every bro may go for himself.
Hey, Dunderson!
See you on the other side, dude.
Hey! Oh, crud! Ah!
Okay, the first part we need is the engine, and to get it we have to solve the candy corn maze. The first time I tried it, I was lost in it forever.
I heard that the best way to solve a maze is to keep making left-hand turns. My good friend Pac-Man told me that.
Nice name dropping, Felix. What does Pac-Man know about mazes anyway?
Howdy, players! Have some candy corn. Welcome to the amazing maze.
That's hilarious.
What are you doing here?
Well, usually I don't preside over these challenges, but I wanted to make sure that you got a fair shake. So I'm adding a few wrinkles to the maze that will make it extra fun. First, black licorice crows.
Oh, shoot, come on!
They're here to follow your every move, and their incessant cawing has been known to drive men insane. Woo-hoo! How fun is that? Oh, and be careful, they're carrying boom corn.
You mean popcorn?
No, it's boom corn. You said it right. It's one false move. Boom!
Can we go go now, please?
No. There's still more fun. I'm releasing a magical unicandy corn into the maze.
He's darling. Hey there, buddy.
That didn't give me any advice for a rabbit unicorn.
Now, how's that for fun? I almost forgot. You only have 30 seconds to get your engine. And go! Wait, what are you doing? No.
That was so cool! Right there! It's right there! Hooray! The engine is mine! The engine is mine!
We're done, Songbird!
It's mine.
Penelope, I don't mean to be presumptuous, but where are we gonna sleep?
You chumps can stay over at my place. It'll be like a slumber party.
Oh, just point me toward the closest pile of bricks, kid, please.
Ralph, she's our host. Don't be rude.
Welcome to my home, the abandoned nougat mines of Mount Fudge-Suvius.
How lovely.
Doesn't look like much of a home to me.
It's better than your home on planet Body Odor.
Actually, we're from Fix It Felix Jr. It's named after me. I fix things, and everybody loves me.
What about you, Chuckles?
I used to wreck things, and everyone hated me. Ow, Mother Hubbard!
Whoa, you're from a game where you get to wreck stuff? Awesome.
Yeah, well, it's not as good as it sounds.
Oh, wait, you gotta see this. Gentlemen, my spitting hole.
Ugh, how unsanitary. No self-respecting person would ever...
Felix, you gotta try this! Man, I wish I had more lube in my mouth. I gob all over this place.
Here we are, the center of Mount Fudge-Suvius. My digs.
Ooh, it's toasty on the tootsie.
Oh yeah, that's because we're over the molten nougat core.
Oh, those are inviting signs.
I know, right? And they came with the place. Make yourselves comfortable. I usually sleep here. I bundle these wrappers up and cover myself up like a little homeless lady. Yeah, it's fun.
This is no way for a child to sleep. I can fix it.
When I win the Derby, I'm gonna treat Taffeta just like she treats me. No, worse, yeah. Like if I saw her in the street dying, I'd just sit there and watch and laugh my head off.
You could step on her hands too, I bet.
Ooh, yeah, I'll break her hands. That's good.
Exactly, so she couldn't crawl.
And then I'd watch her die. That would be so great.
It sure would.
That doesn't sound very nice at all. I bet if you two sat down and hashed it out, you could still be friends.
Oh, come on, Felix. You have no idea what it's like to be weird or ugly or revolting like me or this rotten little kid here.
Yeah, everybody automatically likes you because you're the good guy.
Exactly. Me and this little degenerate, we got serious burdens on our shoulders, man. Right, kid?
Right.
Well, it couldn't hurt to be friendly.
Like this?
Oh!
Hey, quiet! A child is trying to sleep up here.
Oh, sorry. Good night, Ralph.
Good night, Felix.
Whoa, where'd that come from?
Mother Hubbard, extreme easy living too. It's real. And I've already killed someone. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty cool. Thanks. I think.
Good. Like it.
I don't understand.
Welcome to paradise, bromigo.
Henderson.
They said I was crazy, that this whole place was a fairy tale. Well, who's living happily ever after now? And you will too, man. You just gotta master the language. Don't worry, it's only 3 words.
Good.
Like it. And that's about it.
Wow, you were right all along, man.
Yeah, if anything, I undersold it. Check it out. Yeah, the beach goes on forever. Weather's always perfect. No such thing as troubles. And the living is extremely easy.
Good, because I got a lot of troubles to forget, man.
You gotta start cashing in on some of that popularity, bromigo. All you gotta do is want it. Stop me when you see something you like.
Oh, sweet advisor.
Hat this man.
Wow.
Man, you could buy yourself a rooftop party with all that light.
That sounds good.
It's all good.
Kick it party, bromigo.
Yeah, but everyone does the same step over and over again. Hey, everybody, let me teach you a new dance, the wrecking ball. First, you gotta shake your hips like this, and then boom!
Good. Like it. Good. Like it. Good. Ooh, good. Like it. Good. Like it. Like it. Good.
Where is it? What?
Good. Hey, bromigo, where are you going?
I'm leaving. I gotta go back to the arcade.
Back to the arcade and leave paradise? Why? It's all good.
No, it's not all good, but I've still got a chance to fix it. Here, you take these. I'll see you later.
Let's keep this party going!
Like it.